Alright guys, how we doing? Welcome to another one of Yomar's tutorials. And today we have a trig problem we have to solve. So, Yomar is a politician on campaign, and Yomar traveled from his home of city A, which we see on the triangle, to city B to give a speech. The distance from city A to city B is 350 miles. What is the distance from city B to city C in miles? So Yomar can give another one of his famous speeches. And after giving his speech at city C, he wants to fly back to his home to city A. And what is the distance between city C to city A in miles? And how fast will Yomar's private jet have to be traveling in miles per hour if Yomar wants to make it back home in 2 hours? Alright, so we have three problems in one problem. So let's start off with A. Let's solve A first. So we know we have to find the distance between city B and city C, and let's just draw. Let's get a good color. Let's get blue. So we know we have to find this. We have to find X. That's what we have to find. So we're giving we know we have the degrees, and we have to find X, and we have 350 miles. So if we want to find the opposite, this would be the opposite. We know we have something called So we know that the opposite is going to be a variable. So we know that we're not going to use ka because that doesn't have opposite as a variable. We can't use so because we need the hypotenuse for that. So we're going to use toa. So we're going to use toa. So let's come back down here and use toa for that. So to do this, we know that tan, because toa is tan, is opposite over adjacent. And we know that there's 72 degrees over here, and we don't have the opposite, but we have the adjacent, which is 350 miles. So what we can do is go the tan of 72 degrees equals the opposite over the 350 miles. Alright, so how do we solve this? So we need to isolate opposite as a variable. And so we'll multiply 350, and we'll multiply 350 over here. These cancel out, and we have 350 times tan of 72 degrees equals the opposite. After you put this into your calculator, you should have that opposite should equal 1,077.19 miles. So that's your answer for the first one. So that's X. So let's do it in green. So for this one, you know that is going to equal 1,077.19 miles. Now, let's go to B. It's asking us, after giving his speech at city C, he wants to fly back to city A. So he wants to go from here to here. So we can use something called the Pythagorean theorem to find out the third side. So a squared plus b squared always equals c squared. Okay? We have these two, but we don't have this one. So we can have c equals the square root of a squared plus b squared. Right? And after you get c equals 350 squared plus 1077.19 squared. You get that C equals the square root of 1,282,838.30. Once you find the square root of that, you should get 1,132.62. So, this is the distance between city B and city C. So, our new distance is 132.62 miles. And finally, we have to find the last one, which is how fast was I be going if I want to make it back in under 2 hours. So we know that the distance is 1,132.62 miles between C to B. So if you want to make it under 2 hours, we'll just divide this by 2. 132.62 divided by 2 equals. Then after we do that, we finally get that we have to be traveling at approximately 566.31 miles. And that is your answer for C. So that is basically it. If you have any questions, comment down below. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.